Good morning. You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a podcast brought to you by Joyce House and presented in partnership with Cardon and Associates. We are so happy that you're here. Caregiver Crossing is a podcast created just for you, the caregiver. I'm Tina McIntosh.
I'm Terri. Stacy. A welcoming and inclusive community is a community where its members feel safe and respected and comfortable in being themselves and expressing all aspects of their identities, experiences, and needs. They are the richest, most vibrant communities you can find, but they do not develop without commitment or intention. You take it from there, Tina.
Well, individuals that are living with a life-altering diagnosis and their families, they often struggle to find settings and businesses and activities that they can do, where they can connect and engage with their larger community. And so there are some great businesses in our own community here that are committed to ending that struggle. And one of them is our friends at Conner Prairie. Mm-hmm. Today, we have joining us Kelsey. Kelsey, I need you to say your last name.
It's Van Voorst.
See, this is why you're supposed to ask these things before you get started. I didn't do that. So Kelsey Van Voorst is the education manager at Conner Prairie, and she is here to talk about their inclusive efforts, including two incredible programs they have. We are very familiar at Joyce House with them and appreciate them. Thank you for pronouncing your own name, and welcome to Caregiver Crossing.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, you're doing some incredible things there, and you've been doing these for years. So it's not like you hopped on any kind of a bandwagon. I think you're really leading the way.
Yeah.
And can you tell us, so let's start with the memory cafes. What do those look like at Conner Prairie?
So the memory cafes are, they're very laid back. They're, very easygoing. We want people to feel welcome anytime that they arrive. But they're very intentionally designed as well. They're very intentionally designed to include some sort of activity or a prompt that will include one of the five senses, because it's been proven that using those senses, whether it's sight, sound, or smell, or what have you, can help recall memories and to help to get the brain active again. So they're all very unique and they're all very different. Each one has its own specialized theme.
Tell us who comes to the Memory Cafe.
Yeah, it's really great. We've got a lot of people who are caregivers that bring their loved ones to these programs. So, we have a lot of parent-child spouses, even friends have come to this. We also get a lot of groups from assisted living communities that come. They're always looking for an opportunity to get out into the community. So it kind of runs the gambit. Sometimes it's two people, like a couple, like I said, a mom or a daughter or spouses, but sometimes it's larger groups as well.
I want to ask, give us some more examples of some of these great activities that you've done in the past.
Yeah, our last one was really great. We had our ag team at Conner Prairie that takes care of all of our heritage breeds and livestock. They brought out some baby goats and some lambs and a chicken, and the guests were really, really awesome. They just interacted with them and told stories about them growing up on a farm. And there was a couple of years ago we did something similar where we actually went out into one of the barns on the property, and there was this gentleman who had been fairly quiet and just not communicating with really a lot of people. He honestly kind of looked like he didn't want to be there. But as soon as he got into the barn and he saw the animals and he smelled the manure and he heard the animals making noises, his face lit up and he just started telling stories about how, he grew up on a farm, and one day his brother broke his arm because he tried to ride the hay pulley up to the hayloft, and he got in so much trouble with their dad. Like, it was just really cool. Like, that experience alone made the difference for him.
Yeah. It's amazing what animals can do in all realms of life for anybody. It's just amazing the power that animals have, whether that's a memory or it just brings out something in you. It's just amazing what the animal. I love that you did that program, and I'm sure that was a great success. Tina, Go ahead. I know you were about to say something. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. My question was, why did you all get started in this? Because when you look at Conner Prairie and you look at the mission, why Memory Cafe?
Yeah. So this program got started because we got a connection with SACOA and Dementia Friends Indiana. And there was a need in the community to do something like this, modeled after memory cafes, over in the UK. They're super, super well ahead of what we're doing here. At least they were in 2017 when we started this program. And there was a need in our community to do something like this, and there was a huge push. There still is a push to make our museum experience accessible and inclusive for everybody. And it fits right in with our mission. Our mission is that we provide inclusive experiences for everyone. We're a unique historic place that provides opportunities for everyone. And having that everyone at the end of our mission statement says that we should be for everyone.
Agreed. And love it. And you take it seriously. A lot of people say it and they don't do it. And so thank you, Connor Prairie, for doing it. So talking about this inclusivity, let's talk a little bit about the sensor friendly hours. I think that's what they're called, right?
Yeah, the sensory friendly hours.
Thank you.
Those are really great. They've been happening for quite a while, since 2013, actually, but they weren't really regular and sort of, irregular in attendance, irregular in scheduling. So I wanted to make them as regular as possible, as reliable to that community. So the sensory friendly hours are for anybody with neurodivergencies or sensory differences, including autism, to come to Connor Prairie. They're the second Sunday of every month from 10 a.m. until noon, and it's free admission. Because I know that can be a struggle for some families as well. If they come to Connor Prairie or come to any museum and then 5 minutes in, someone has a meltdown and they need to leave and they've already paid admission. So we wanted to make it accessible and wanted to make it free for people. So those happen on a regular basis. And we've actually this year began starting to partner with local organizations. One of the ones that I'm very happy about is an organization called Pause and Think. They're a companion animal company or organization.
They're wonderful.
A nonprofit.
Yep.
Yeah, so they bring teams of dogs to come to our sensory friendly hours every month, and they just hang out. And there's a little sign there that says like, "Come up and pet me. I like it." It's not your typical service animal where you're not allowed to pet them. These dogs are there for the pets and there for the loves and everything. So they've been coming to our sensory friendly hours for the past 3 or 4 months now.
That's
Terri,
awesome.
I think I'm going to get you a sign, Terri, that says, "Come up and pet me. I like it."
Again, the power of animals. It's just amazing. They're putting dogs in courtrooms now. And, they're just to help those with just feeling calming. Those are their calming presence. You've also constructed an inclusive play area that I know started during COVID, I think, when it 2020 that you brought the inclusive playgrounds out.
Yeah, so we collaborated with an organization called Unlimited Play, and they build inclusive playgrounds. We had a playground on our property next to the big red barn, our Featherston barn on property that had been there for years and years, and it honestly, it looked pretty sad. It looked like it needed a refresher. So we took that idea and we took we had some funding from some really, really wonderful donations to build a new playground, but we wanted to be intentional that playground could be utilized by anybody, no matter their experiences or their abilities or their disabilities. There's ramps that go all the way to the top of the playground. There is a ground level merry-go-round, so you don't have to actually step up into the merry-go-round.
Yeah.
And there's tactile toys all around that make sounds or have like funny, I don't know, feelings, like they rattle or they squish or they squeak. The ground itself is actually like astroturf, like squishy and bouncy. So it's fully accessible, and it's all themed after like farm animals. It's called Ag Adventures. So it looks like a giant barn and you're sliding out of the trough of a tractor and there's giant stalks of corn. And that's a really, really great playground that's gets played on every day by kids of all ages.
Wow. We applaud Connor Prairie, seriously, for everything that you're doing and everything you're thinking of. What could possibly be next? What do you want to see next that still includes that all-inclusive?
Oh man, I would love to do programming for individuals who maybe are blind or low vision. We've got a wonderful, the Indiana School for the Blind is right down the street.
Yeah.
So I want to do more intentional programming or intentional visits for folks like that. We get school trips from the Indiana School for the Blind, and they really love, of course, the animal barn. They also love all of these hands-on activities. So we could curate especially a designed experience for those people, to make them feel welcome and to make them feel valued. And I also have really been getting into hiring and recruitment for individuals. Hiring and recruiting individuals with disabilities is a big passion of ours at Conner Prairie, and collaborating with organizations like Opportunities for Positive Growth and ARC of Indiana has been really great. So I love that aspect of how Conner Prairie can be inclusive too, not just in a guest experience, but as an employer as well.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I remember years ago talking with folks at Conner Prairie about that very thing, and how you wanted people that looked like your visitors to be working there, whatever that means to them. And so this is something you've been at for a long time, and we're so glad, Kelsey, that you are you're in control of this, man. Let's do some things.
Yeah, so, I want to do more. Inclusion and diversity isn't just, it's not about ticking boxes and saying we did this one program for this one community or this one demographic. You have to, it's continuous work. And I think the thing that excites me the most about it is that it's never done, like it's never complete. There's always more work to do.
Absolutely. Well, we're so glad you're doing it. And thank you for taking the time to be with us today.
Of course. Thank you so much.
As we close the show, I just want to remind listeners that you can contact me. I'm Tina, for more information and resources to help you through the journey of caregiving. You can do that by calling Joy's House, or simply email me at Tina, Tina, @joyshouse.org. And Terri, we have some sponsors to thank.
A lot of them. Caregiver Crossing, supported by Cardon and Associates, with 20 communities owned, operated, or managed in the Midwest, and more than 40 years of senior living experience. Cardon and Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. And by Ascension. Ascension is a national faith-based healthcare organization made of caregivers dedicated to delivering compassionate personal care for all. Until next time, again, thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next time. Take good care of each other.